All right, so we've spent a lot of time dialing in our biology, right? We've talked sleep, we've talked fuel, we've optimized our hormones. But what if I told you there's one last piece of the puzzle? The one that really determines who wins and who loses. It's not about what you're born with, it's about what you build. And we call that grit.
I mean, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You see it in the gym, you see it in the boardroom, you see it in life. What is that secret sauce that separates the people who push through from the ones who just fall apart?
Well, guess what? For the first time ever, we have a real answer. And this isn't some self-help philosophy, this is straight-up physiology. Neuroscientists have literally pinpointed the exact spot in your brain that is the source of your willpower.
And here's the kicker, the absolute best part of this whole discovery. It's not fixed. It's not something you either have or you don't. You can intentionally, physically make it bigger and stronger. Okay, you gotta see how this works.
So first up, let's look at what I'm calling your brain's willpower muscle. The hero of our story today is this little chunk of brain tissue called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Now, don't worry about that long name, just remember aMC. This thing right here, this is the biological engine room for your grit and resilience. And I want you to burn this into your brain. The best way to understand the aMCC is to think of it exactly like a muscle. And I'm not being poetic here. It literally behaves just like the bicep in your arm. So how do you make a muscle grow? You apply resistance, you put it under load, you stress it out. Well, it's the exact same principle for your aMC. Every single time you decide to do something you'd rather not do, every time you push through when you want to quit, you are signaling that muscle in your brain to grow.
And this is the key takeaway. It's a biological response. This has nothing to do with being born talented or being some kind of gifted person. It is a direct physical adaptation to choosing to do hard things. You choose the friction, and your brain responds by physically getting stronger. It really is that simple.
So when we talk about someone who has that never-quit attitude, we're not just describing a personality anymore. We're actually describing a physical state, a brain with a well-developed, robust aMCC that has been trained, rep by painful rep, not to give up. Okay, so the mechanism is cool, but does it actually make a difference in the real world? Oh yeah, let's look at the research.
This is where Angela Duckworth's legendary research comes in. She studied everybody from West Point cadets trying to survive beast barracks to kids in the National Spelling Bee, and the pattern was crystal clear. The single greatest predictor of success wasn't your IQ, it wasn't raw talent, it was grit, that mix of passion and just sheer perseverance. Grit is what makes your talent actually count for something.
But here's an amazing side effect, a 2-for-1 deal. As you build up your aMMC, your willpower muscle, it actually develops more control over your brain's fear center, the amygdala. So, in plain English, the more you train your willpower, the better you get at telling your inner panic button to just chill out. What you're really doing here, on a fundamental level, is rewiring your entire nervous system. You are training yourself to see a challenge and think opportunity instead of threat. You're not just learning to try harder, you are literally becoming a different person who is built to handle hard things better.
Okay, so we've got the what, we've got the why. Now let's get to the good stuff, the how. This is the Unbreakable Mind Protocol.
It all boils down to a super simple 3-part protocol that you can start using like right now. Let's break them down one by one.
Rule number 1 is the one more rule. This is where the magic happens. You know that moment when your body is on fire, your brain is screaming, "Stop!" That is the moment of truth. Pushing to do just one more rep, read one more page, work for one more minute. That specific action is the signal that tells your aMCC, hey, time to grow.
Second, we have voluntary discomfort. Now this is all about choosing to do things that are difficult but perfectly safe. I'm talking about things like taking a cold shower, maybe trying intermittent fasting, or just forcing yourself to wake up an hour earlier. What this does is it basically performs a hard reset on your stress levels. When you start your day by conquering a cold shower, that annoying email from your boss just doesn't seem so bad anymore.
And third, micro wins. This one is all about building trust with yourself. Set tiny, non-negotiable goals every single day. Things like make your bed, meditate for 2 minutes, don't hit the snooze button. See, every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you're paving that neural pathway of discipline. You're teaching your brain that you're the kind of person who follows through.
So let's pull all these threads together. This isn't just about surviving a tough workout or getting through a long day at the office. This is about forging an entirely new identity.
Because when it all comes down to it, the ultimate expression of peak performance isn't just a body that's perfectly optimized. It's a mind that has been deliberately trained through fire and friction to be completely unbreakable.
Look, the roadmap is right here in front of you. You have the tools, you have the science. The only variable left in the equation is you, choosing the friction and starting the work.
And that's a wrap on our Peak Performance series. But look, the journey of mastering your biology, of building a life by design instead of by default, that's what we do here at BioCore. And that journey never really ends. Thanks for being here with us.
So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Starting today, right now, how are you going to build your unbreakable mind?